Hello and welcome to day one of Launch Your Profitable Coaching Business. So, in day one today, we're going to cover the niche. This topic alone causes so many people stress. So, I want to really break this down today and possibly take a different perspective than maybe you've heard before. So, I'm Izzy Nally. I am a business consultant and a coach. So, as we get started, let's just talk about that. What's the difference between a consultant and a coach? So, you can guide, you can mentor, you can consult, but when you become a coach, you are really asking questions and assisting people in their own journey to get to a destination. So, when we talk about getting to that destination, when you are starting a coaching program specifically, people want to know where you can take them. And that is what the niche is that we are talking about today. It is that destination that you are going to take your clients to. It is not this super tiny little micro thing. It is a way to truly understand your audience, meaning the people that want to go to the destination that you are leading them to. So, as we talk about this and we talk about designing your coaching program and your coaching business, a business nowadays really does need a program. Now, when I say program, and as a hypnotherapist and a mindset person myself, I will say that we have to really look at the words that we are using and what our association is with those. So, when we say design a program, your program does not necessarily have to be something that's on a course platform and they're watching the videos and they're going through this thing. You can do a one on one program, you can do a group program, you can do a speaking program. So, whatever it is that you are truly desiring to do, that's the beauty of your business. When it's your business, you get to choose. So, if you're like, yeah, but people do it this way, and some people do it that way, and I feel like I have to do it that way, that is not true. Now, there are certain steps and strategies that we implement in order to make a business successful. But here I am not telling you that you have to do it a certain way. And that is probably something that I do slightly different within my business. It is all about your goals and designing your business your way. So, when we look at group programs, maybe you're like, I've done group programs in the past and it didn't work. I like the idea of it, but I don't think that it'll work for me. That's where we have to examine and say what didn't work. What would you like to work? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? If you don't want to do group programs, you don't have to. All right. So, when we talk about designing that destination for our target audience, you have to know what the destination is before you choose your audience. Now, you can do it the other way, but if you have a set destination where you're like, I am going to help people to get to this point, then you can look at it and work backward and go, okay, who wants to land in this destination? But that's not the only way that you have to do it. Now, I will say that is the easier way to do it, definitely by far. Now, if you are looking for your business to be bigger, to be more robust, maybe you're like, I have so many ideas for different programs. That is okay. But in your first year, it is one destination. And this is the biggest key. Every paid program I have ever entered, every paid coaching program I have ever been in, it is one core program that you are offering for that very first year. Now, what I do say as a business consultant, you should be thinking about your 5 to 10 year plan. And that's where often most of us are. We are so caught up in all of these ideas and these beautiful ideas that you want to do in order to help people. And you're like, well, I see all these other coaches and consultants, they're doing it. They have multiple different programs, but most likely they've done it for a really long time, or they probably aren't making as much money as you think they are. They might just be paying for ads. So, when you are designing your program, you want to keep refining it. Now, this is another thing that you might see from other coaches as well. They might have the exact same program and they're just marketing it in different ways. Okay, so we can get into marketing. But I'm going to tell you the absolute best and easiest way for you to have a profitable coaching business. So we're going to choose one destination, and from that one destination, we're going to reverse work it. Now, many of us coaches were like, well, I just coach people. And this is where I was in the past. I just coach people and I just ask the right questions and I can coach anybody about anything. And who gets stuck there? Does anyone get stuck there? You're like, but I can coach everyone. I can coach anyone on anything because it's just asking really great questions. That is what coaching is. And when I very first started my coaching business, I would do this. I would post on social media and be like, free coaching sessions. I'll coach you for 3 months for free. And I would just post it out there and no one was taking advantage of it. And I was flabbergasted. I really had no idea why no one was taking me up on this. I knew these amazing benefits of going through a coaching program, of getting coaching. And I would tell them how amazing it was, but I wasn't telling them the benefits. And benefits are relative, right? So benefits are relative because it depends on the journey of that person. Now, it would be very easy for me to say, you know, I'm going to lead a coaching program on how to gain control of your life, how to stop living by other people's rules and to start living by your own. But that's still kind of vague, right? That sounds good. Who would sign up for that program? Would anyone sign up for that program? How much money would you spend on that program? Right? So this is the next portion. When we allow ourselves to niche, we allow ourselves to create more and more clarity, not only for us as the business owner. And when that clarity is there, we can create repeatable processes, right? Who wants to create a new program every single month or try to remember what you taught last month? Or if you can create those repeatable processes, you can scale your business and then you can allow yourself to take the business to the next level where in a year from now, you can add a second program because you were able to document all of those processes. Now, when you are developing over and over again, or you're not documenting, you're doing it more like a hobby, right? Like that's the truth. You're doing it more like a hobby. So you have to take it serious in order to create that coaching program. Now, when you're talking about the benefits and you're like, I want to show you how you can gain control of your life and be the one that is dictating. Be the one who is making the choices. Be the one who is taking charge of their life. This is just an example. That still does not tell them tangible benefits. Why? Because I did not choose a niche. When I choose a niche, and you can always change your niche, there's no fear to be around the word niche. Niche allows you to create your marketing, to create your metaphors, to establish this mission. So if I was to say, I want to help single moms take control of their lives and feel in charge of their career. That sounds a little bit different, right? Now we're talking about moms and we're talking about gaining a career. So I'm starting to niche down a little bit. Once I get to know who I'm teaching the program for, it doesn't matter if anyone could benefit from it. Because there's this saying in marketing, who's heard this one? If you market to everyone, you actually market to no one. People want to know that that program is for them. People want to know that they're going to get amazing results. And the only way we can let them see that, hear that, know that is by putting it into their words. So, all right. So everyone have their pen and paper today. If you have not gotten it, you can always, draw up a little notepad. Google Docs is my fave. And let's start to take notes. So we have this destination, and this is where a lot of times people start to get a little confused. We have this destination, or maybe you don't, maybe you just have the tools. Um, but of that destination, you have to work backwards and say, what tools did that person have to learn, or does that person need to learn? Because most likely, if you are a coach, you have a certification, you might have a few certifications, you might have gone through several programs yourself, and you have this arsenal of tools that you utilize to move on with each and every day. And it is so easy for us to say, this is amazing. Just trust me. But when you are a coach, it is so much more than just saying, trust me. So, how we say, trust me, is by speaking their language, by telling them what they want to hear. Now, I say that not in a manipulative way, but in a way to really reassure them that you are the right person for them, that your program is the right person for them. Because essentially, we want to develop a program, whether again it's one on one, whether it's a group program, whether it's a course. We want to develop a program that we aren't always the person teaching it. Now, back in the day, that would have scared me hearing that, going, what? I'm going to develop a program and other people are going to teach it. And this fear based mindset would start to come in. And I'd be like, well, someone could just steal my program. No, there's a thing called copywriting. So you can copyright your program when it's documented. You are protecting yourself when you have your program all lined out. Now, if you are just coaching and you're just doing this, people can take whatever you're doing and they can implement it into something else. And my favorite thing, my absolute favorite thing to teach is abundant mindset. And I say this because scarcity mindset is what held me back for so long. Scarcity mindset can come in and say, you're not good enough. You don't know enough. Someone's going to steal your ideas. Right? Has anybody had those creep up? I'm pretty sure every coach and business person has had that. I'm not good enough. I don't know enough, right? Maybe I need one more certification. And I promise you probably don't. I would say there's a 98% chance you do not need another certification. Because what I found is the certifications are just giving us more tools. They might reaffirm what we already know. And what they might do is put it into order so that we can digest it. But that is theirs, that is their creation. And you have to create your own creation. And you do that by taking your passions, taking your mission, taking your tools, and putting that in a path, in a journey to take someone to a destination. Now, who wants to know the biggest secret? And you'll be like, it's not really a secret. It's not really a secret. But it's the biggest thing. The journey you're going to take people on is most likely a journey that you've been through. Now, the biggest hang up that so many coaches, again, get stuck on is they're like, but my journey's not finished. Right? Who feels like they're finished on their journey? Not me. I don't feel like I'm finished either. You just have to take someone to a step, to a stage, to a result that you have achieved. And again, this is where fear can creep up and go, well, that's not enough. It doesn't have to be enough. You got to a certain stage within your journey that you were beyond thankful that you hit that milestone and it changed your world. And most likely our brain hangs on, our brain hangs on to certain memories. So all the suffering and all those things, we tend to just leave it in the past. So thinking about where you want to get someone. Now, if you're like, I'm still not entirely sure what that looks like, that's okay. That person, that person that you're thinking of, maybe it was you 5 or 10 years ago. What is it that they craved more than anything? That if you dangled it in front of them going, is this what you want? Right? You were searching it in Google. You were researching all of the time. You were like, is this what you want? You would have moved earth. If it cost, 5 times what you could afford, you would have gotten a second job just to pay for it. That's the journey. That's the destination that you want to be on and taking them on. Okay. So, thinking about it right now, let's just use ourselves as an example. What is your big, giant dream? Your and the big, giant obstacle that is getting in your way? I'm curious. What is it? And if I said right now that, let's just use this as an example. If I could help you launch your coaching program in 90 days, that's in 3 months, and you could be making a income of at least 100K a year. If I could get you on that path where you're starting that path and your business is ready to launch in 90 days, is that something that you would be interested in? Is that something you're like, yes? But if you see how I worded that, there's still more. What if we could create a business where you're making or replacing your current income and you're making more than you ever have each month? See how we're starting to get there. What if we could create a coaching program where you put in a lot of work up front so that you only have to work 20 hours a week after that 90 days? So this is where I'm starting to list out these benefits, right? Because I know my audience. My audience is tired of working all the time. And you're probably tired of working all the time not knowing what to do next. You need a solid game plan. You need someone to guide you through and help you create that clarity, right? Because you have probably 2 or 3 projects that you're working on because you have so many amazing ideas that you need the structure to keep you getting one done so that you can then move on to the next. Because I know my audience, because my audience is like me. And no one is going to be exactly like you. So when you create a program that is for other people like you, it is a beautiful thing. When you create other people that like to work the way you work, when you create a program that people love all these little pieces and you start to collect your people, you collect your people by hosting and facilitating and establishing this container for people like you. They were just the past version of you that is stepping into the current version of you. And you're always going to stay a step ahead because you're continuously on your journey. You are leading by example. And this again, back when we come to this niche, a niche is not limiting anyone except for the people that you don't want. And it's like, well, I need to help those people too. No, we are establishing boundaries. Boundaries say that I have a finite amount of energy and time, and I want to choose where I'm directing my energy and time. I choose. I want to work with people that I want to work with. I don't want to work just anyone, right? If you had a job and you have to help just anyone that the company gives you, this is your business. Now, I always say your business and you are separate. Your business is like your baby. You want it to grow and develop so it can be sustainable and live on its own one day, right? We wouldn't want our children to live with us all the time. We wouldn't want them to stay at puppy stage, right? If maybe you're a puppy parent or an animal parent, you wouldn't want them to stay at that puppy stage all the time. You would want it to eventually be self-sufficient. So for us, we are trying to grow it. Now, just like for any of those that have had kids or puppies or any other furry creatures, It takes a little bit more time in the beginning. And so you are going to have to take a little bit of time and put a little bit more thought into this in the beginning. And so we'll spend that first 90 days really diving in and iron everything out. And when you create your niche, you are going to keep refining it. You're going to keep looking at this niche and testing it. But often this fear can kick back in. And when fear kicks in, we go, oh my gosh. And every business owner has this. Every business owner has this. Okay. Where you're going pretty good. And then your brain just starts to like retract and go, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know if this is working. And then you try to recreate all over again. But what we really need to do, are you ready to learn how to look at your niche and get to know your people even more? It's talking to them, getting in the DMs, doing research. It is finding out what they like. It's finding out what you really like. Owning your own business, specifically a coaching business, is the biggest self-development journey you will ever be on. The biggest self-development. Why? Because it is a direct reflection of you. Your energy, your intention, your follow through, all of it is right there directly in front of you. Your clarity. If you lack clarity, your potential clients lack clarity. If they lack clarity, they lack trust, they lack confidence. And if they don't have that, they don't make a buying decision. We can also see our relationship for asking for what we need, charging for what we're worth, our self-worth. If we believe we are enough, all of this stuff is going to come up as you are starting your business. And I will tell you, being a business owner for several years now, um, there will be times when you're like, oh gosh, like a 9 to 5 would probably be easier than running my own business. And if that thought comes up, that is a huge moment, huge moment. And this has come up for me a few times where I have to stop and really evaluate, what is it that I'm creating? What is my relationship with time and money? Why do I feel this urge to be busy? Why am I lacking clarity? What am I scared of? Because there are huge benefits of owning your own business. And when you go into designing your business, it is not something that we just throw ourselves into and we just figure it out. We do, in a sense, we do have that go get it attitude, but it is necessary to plan. So when you're designing your business, you really want to look at what is it that you want to create? How many hours do you want to work? How often do you want to be on demand? And how often do you want to spend time online? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to spend your time? All of that is factored in and created into your business strategy. And when you choose your niche, that is something that's also really important. So you're choosing your niche to make sure that someone can actually afford what you're doing, because unless you're running a nonprofit, you're still going to have to ask for money. Any type of business, you're going to have to ask for money of some sort. So most likely you want to start your own business because you want to make more money. Who wants to make more money? Why are you going into business for yourself? Is it more time, more money, all of the above? And so what people often do is they go into business and then they fall back into the same patterns of working 40 hours a week, of limiting their income, and they start trading time for money again, because that's all we've known, most likely. If all you've known is trading time for money, it's so easy to get stuck in that. So in order to escape that cycle, We have to start thinking a different way. So, next Monday, in the evening, we're going to be doing the millionaire mindset activation. So, it's a hypnosis, a workshop, and a hypnosis that we'll be doing to help us think a different way. It's really easy to get caught up in these thoughts of, well, I don't need to choose a niche. I need to help everyone. That is people pleasing and not creating boundaries. Because by choosing by choosing everyone, you end up choosing no one. So if you really want to make an impact, in order to stand out from the crowd so people actually see what you're doing, you have to have a clear message, you have to have a clear brand, and fear can show up. Fear of, what is my family going to think? Fear of, people are going to think I'm boasting. Fear of, people are going to think I think I'm better than them. Fear of, I'm going to stand out and I'm going to get all these negative comments. So I'm curious, what are your fears? What scares you from going all in your business? Showing up online, your loud and weird self, because we all have our weird self. Allowing yourself, if you like want to show up online with a tiara, or you want to show up online with bright colors, or you want to show up online, what fears come up and block you from doing that? What is preventing you from showing up as your absolute best self? Often it's fear of judgment. And I will tell you that is perfectly normal. Our brain is wired to fit in with our crowd. However, if you want a new crowd, if you want a new perception of you, if you want to be this amazing coach and business owner, if you want to be an industry leader, you have to allow yourself to stand out, which is the complete opposite of what most of us have been told is appropriate. So most of us is like, dim your light so you don't outshine someone else. Who has had this feeling or has gained this connotation from society? Dim your light so you don't outshine others. When in fact, when you allow your light to shine bright, you then get to light the flames that have gone out of everyone else's. You are not going to outshine someone else's bright light. You're not. And the more light we have, the better the world can be. Just because you are standing out does not mean you're outshining someone else. I love partnering with other people that are not scared of being themselves, going live, having them on my podcast. I love it because I want to surround myself with people that I want to be like, with people who are being authentic with themselves. So when you change your crowd, or sometimes you have to change to adapt to create your crowd, which is what we're talking about more of having this niche, creating your container for the people that you're going to fill it with. You have to step in to the role and into the vibration, the energy, the vibe of the group that you want to be, that you want to create. So you have to allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone. It's really easy to stay in the comfort zone, and our minds will actually choose familiar discomfort over unfamiliar comfort. Okay? Because familiar is safe in our minds. Now, knowing that, it allows us to go, am I making a choice out of fear, scarcity? If I'm making a choice out of love, abundance, hope? And so often we jump into our business and we're not fully in. And if you have tried starting your own business in the past, I did this. I tried a couple times actually. And there was still hesitation. Now, sometimes there was a lack of knowledge as well. But I will tell you, I have seen so many people dive all in on their business, and it was messy and it was clunky, and people celebrated that. People celebrated that they were taking action, that they were stepping out, that they were doing something different, because often that then empowers someone else. Who's had this? I had this. The first time I went to a yoga class, and I was like, I could teach that better. I could teach that better. And I was like, I've been doing this at home for so long, and I was like, they're missing out on so much stuff. And that empowered me to then go and study and become a yoga teacher. And I'm not going to say I'm the best at all. And that's okay. I don't have to be the best, but I am the best for my group, for my people. My people love me and celebrate me. And your people will love you and celebrate you. You do not have to be the best. I know people all the time that they're like, I don't want to be with these people who are so distant, right? Like in my program, I am in it with them. Like I am in there, I am coaching them, I'm teaching them. And that is one thing that I love to do. And maybe in the future down the road, it'll be to the point where other people are leading the program for me. But often that is why people choose to be in my program, because it's not just watch the videos. Some coach that's been through the program before is going to guide you. We are going to troubleshoot it. We're going to work through it. We're going to make sure that you feel confident. So notice what it is in comparison to these other people out there. But you have to choose your niche. You have to have a container in order for people to come into. It's like if you were to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm open for business, come visit me." And they're like, "Where are you at?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm just in the East End." Are they going to come visit you? They're just going to go circle the East End and try to look for you? No. So you have to create your container. They're like, people are like, "What do you do?" "I'm a coach." Does that make you want to work with them? No. And it's perfectly fine. I had this problem too, that I would want to shift and adapt because I was having this people pleasing and I didn't realize it at the time. And I would shift whatever I was saying to fit whatever that person needed. And what ended up happening is I had 3 or 4 different things happening all at the same time, and I had no time because I was trying to please all these different people. It was perfectly fine for me to say that now I know this, right? I'm like, I don't have time for that. But now I'm like, this is what I do. Oh, well, it might not be a good fit for you, but do you know anyone who is in need of this or is struggling with this? And they might. So it's not about getting the sale right then and there. It's about being strong and confident in the transformation that you offer and the journey that you take this certain group of people on. That certain group of people you might think is really tiny. There are billions of people in this world. And I was listening, and there's a statistic that is like 2.5 or to 3 point something billion people in the world have the means to buy what it is that you are offering, right? I have thought in the past, I'm like, oh my gosh, these coaching programs are outrageous. I would never pay $10,000 for a coaching program, but I would pay $10,000 for my yoga therapy training. That was a program. It was just phrased differently. It was an outcome that I paid for, and the outcome was very clear. I have signed up for coaching programs now that are well over $10,000 a year because I know exactly what I'm getting. And that person has established trust for me that I know that they will deliver. And some of those is still, it's not the main person that's teaching it. So in my programs, you will definitely get me. So I'll just say that already. Now, if you have not yet, you can go to izzynallymarketing.com. It'll take you to the registration page for Launch Your Profitable Coaching Business. I say that because there's homework. There's homework. And if you do all of the homework, the 3 homework assignments, which are only going to benefit you, I have an incentive for you. So that incentive is that you will win a free ticket to the Millionaire Money Mindset Activation that is next week. Who would like to attend? All right. So just an incentive to do your homework, which is already going to benefit you. And if you're like, Izzy, I've already done this stuff. I already know these things. I'm just listening so you can remind me. That's okay. That makes the homework even easier for you. Okay. So your homework is question number 1 is what are your passions and what are your strengths? What are your passions and what are your strengths? Number 2 is what is your ideal client? Who is that? Who is your ideal client? And then number 3, you're actually going to list out specific niches that you would like to work with. So, what are those groups of people that you would like to work with? And if you're like, I don't know, give me some examples. So, do you want to work with moms? Maybe you want women or men. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you want to work with professionals. Maybe you want to work with people in a specific industry. So, if you're not really sure, at least write down who you don't want to work with. Okay. So, you can at least write who do you not want to work with? Maybe you're like, oh, there's a person I used to work with, or this person I've worked with before. People that you're just like, nope, I don't want to have anything to do with them. Maybe you don't like super type A people. Maybe you don't like super spiritual, fluffy people. You choose. I like all of them, but I like spiritual people too. But I won't go into that. There are definitely each group of people, just because I've worked with so many coaches, each group of people has their pros and cons. But again, it's people like you. So maybe you just describe yourself. All right. So what you'll want to do is in the group, it will be posting here in about 20 minutes. It will be the homework assignment for today. And you will comment underneath of the homework assignment. That will then enter you in, and we'll take tallies of who has done all 3 assignments. And those who have done all 3 assignments will win a free ticket to the Millionaire Money Mindset Activation. So it's a 90-minute workshop. And so we'll go through the workshop portion. We'll do the activation. We'll talk about writing down our habits that we want that are taking us into our $1,000,000 mindset further. And we do that after the activation, because what you think they are and then what they are after is different. All right. And then there is an option if you're like, I don't know if I have all time for all of this. It is listed on Eventbrite. So you can go to izzynallywebinars.com. That'll take you to my Eventbrite page with all of the listings. There is the option where you can pay for that, and you can get your own custom one-on-one session that goes along with that as well. All right. Thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, day 2. So on day 2, we're talking about crafting our irresistible offer, what our irresistible offer actually looks like, and super important, our go-to-market strategy. So we're diving in a little bit more. We're getting a little bit more businessy. Today was the fun part. We're getting a little creative, but you really need this as we step into day 2. So make sure you do your homework before we dive into day 2. Just thinking about it is not enough. Trust me, I know. Make sure that you actually write these down. Write these down in a journal or something that you will easily be able to go back and look at, because you are working on designing your business, a profitable coaching business, not just a business, not just to slap it up and say, hey, I'm a business owner. No, we actually want to get the results that you want so we can design the life that you want. All right. So I will see you tomorrow, and don't forget to go register. All right. Bye.